does the Catholic Church make an impact in your life?
I go to church every Sunday, so yeah.
Do you feel the Holy Spirit speaks to you when you pray?
No.
Okay.
All right. If you were forced to go, would you go to church?
No.
Should priests be allowed to marry?
Yeah.
Have you ever doubted your religion?
No.
Good. Alright.
How does the Catholic Church make an impact in your life?
Catholic Church makes an impact on my life because I go to a Catholic school.
Makes sense. Do you feel that the Holy Spirit speaks to you when you pray?
Definitely like when I'm praying for a test or something. I don't know. It gives me more confidence.
If you were forced to go, would you go to church?
Yeah, but every now and then, maybe not like weekly.
Should priests be allowed to marry?
That's a tough one. I would say, yeah. Just so like when people come with them to like with their issues about their marriage, they can maybe have experience and help them out more with that.
Okay. Have you ever doubted your religion?
I mean, yeah, like everyone doubts their religion like at some point in their life when they're going through something that's like hard.
Okay, thank you.
How does the Catholic Church make an impact in your life?
The Catholic faith is at the center of my life in many ways. It's how we started our marriage. It's how I've raised you and your brother.
Do you feel that the Holy Spirit speaks to you when you pray?
Yes. I do feel like the Holy Spirit speaks to me when I pray. I have asked for answers, and when I'm quiet and I can listen, I hear the answers.
If you weren't forced to go, would you go to church?
Yes. It's incredible how, I mean, nobody forces you to go, really. I'm thinking about it. Nobody forces you to go. You go because you want to.
Should priests be allowed to marry?
I think they should. I really think that priests should be allowed to marry. I think that celibacy is hard, and I really don't think that it will take away from their vocation.
Have you ever doubted your religion?
Yes, I had a period of time when I didn't go to church, and I don't know if I totally doubted my religion, but I didn't feel as strongly about it as I do now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
And one thing that I is that some kids are forced to be Catholic by like their parents force them to go to church, and that a bunch of them wouldn't be as committed as their parents make them to when it comes to going to church. Like they would go like not as often as they would with their parents. One thing that I did learn was that that goes along with these three things is that the Holy Spirit speaks for tests. Like when people pray for tests, they will give people confidence, like this, like Nicholas. The second part was to describe the similarities / differences between some of the interview responses. And one thing was that Brianex, his parents make him go to church, and I don't feel that he would go to church on his own. But Nicholas, he said he would go, but he wouldn't go as often as his parents make him. Alright, so the third part is identify the interview responses that surprise you most and why. Mine was how Nicholas said that priests should get married so they can allow some like extra information for couples with couples who have problems in their relationship, so he can add some extra advice into his teachings for them.
I learned quite a few things from this interview. I learned that going to church will make a big impact in someone's life because we're in God's house when we're at church. I learned that if I ever doubted my religion, then I would lose my faith in myself and God. The last thing I learned is that when I pray, I feel like the Holy Spirit is talking to me. When we interviewed a senior, he said every priest has the right to get married, but I disagreed with him. Because the priest should only focus his relationship with God. The only thing I agreed with him was that going to church will impact your life in many ways. The the senior surprised me is when he said he would go to church even if he wasn't forced to go. I'm surprised because at this age, many of us wouldn't like going to church.
I learned that the Catholic Church makes so much more of a difference in my life than I thought it could, and that every time I pray, even if I don't get a direct answer or things don't seem clear to me, that the Holy Spirit is speaking to me in one way or another. I also learned that doubting your religion doesn't make you any less Christian than the next person. It just means that you're a normal person who has questions, and that doubting religion is all a part of growing in your faith and learning who you are.
3 things that I learned is that God is a part of a lot of people's lives everywhere. God helps all of us in different ways, and that the church helps with a lot of problems that people have. Some of the similarities and differences from different interviews were that some people felt the Holy Spirit speaks to them while others did not, and that some felt that priests should marry while others did not. And something that surprised me was that people felt like the Holy Spirit speaks to them, and it surprised me because I only thought that like very few people felt that. These quotes relate to the interviews because each person is unique and has their own unique opinions. The second quote relates to the interviews because consumerism says that through it, we forget the generosity of God, but as shown in this interview, it does not apply to everyone, as these people have a lot of faith in their life.